everyone, welcome back to my channel at sharoncullenart. Today I just wanted to do a quick video on some tips and tricks for sketching. The first thing I wanted to let you know is that when you're first starting out with buildings and sketching buildings, try to sketch the major shapes: rectangles, triangles, diamond shapes, etc. Half circle. You're going to have all of these major shapes that you can do, trapezoid, and it really cuts it down to simplistic shapes. If you want to do something like this steeple, for instance, and you know that all four sides are equal, if you could look at it and look all the way around, you would see that each side measures exactly the same width. But when you go to draw that, you know that one side will have to be shorter. And we'll take this side, for instance, and I'll measure it from the tip of my pencil to the edge here is approximately this width. When I go to the side, to the next side, it's about half of what it was here. So you need to keep that in mind. And this is usually a lot narrower than you give it credit for. So you can always lock your elbow and hold your pencil up toward a building and look at it and see exactly what the difference in the size is. Then when you bring it over to your paper, and excuse my dirty sheet, this is the back of a sketch. When you bring it over to the paper, it doesn't matter what size you make that steeple. It doesn't have to be this width. If you start with this width and you know that your next side is going to be half of that, then you're going to take this side and give it about half. And then again, remembering the perspective tip that I gave you before, what's up comes down, what's down goes up. So whatever is below your eye level goes up, whatever's above your eye level comes down. So these would be coming down like this so that you get that squared off shape. These on the bottom might be coming up, but again, the bottom coming up is usually at a less distinct angle than this is. This angle will be steeper than this angle for the most part. Now the other thing I wanted to show you, we've already determined that the width from this part of the steeple is approximately half from here to here. What about doing these portions of your roof? This can get easily to get out of whack, the angles of the roof line on the side versus what you see in front. So you'll make your triangle here. You can also do your same measurements, measuring from here to here. And you can see, even though these are the same distance from here to here, this one appears longer than this one does. So you see, if I were to draw a line from here all the way across, it comes down. And the same with here. This one comes down. So it's above eye level, so it goes down as it recedes into the distance. How much distance do you have from here to here and from the same spot over here? Again, it's about half. If I were to take this same line, here's from here to here, and then going straight across, it doubles. So you know that when you're doing this side triangle, you're going to have a narrower distance from here to here than from here to here. And then again, receding into the distance, they come down. And as you look at the bottom here of the steeple, this part would come up slightly. You can see it's below your eye level. So from here to here, it's slightly tilted. Very slight though. You see it's not as distinct an angle, not as sharp an angle, I should say, from the bottom going up as it is from the above your eye level coming down. So remembering this, by looking at this, you want to find your eye level. You can look at this door. As it recedes into the distance, it comes down. And then the bottom should come up, but it doesn't. It's almost perfectly straight, if not perfectly straight. So this is likely my eye level. So if I were going to do this church on paper, I might mark a little dash line going across my page right here saying, okay, this is my eye level. So if you notice below it, this stuff comes up. This goes up. This stays straight. This starts to go up just slightly as we get above eye level. If you were going to put this sign in, that's a much higher angle above eye level. But down here, it's pretty much level, which is about the same area, slightly lower than the door. But those slight differences you may not notice in a composition. Now, the second thing I wanted to show you is that when you take a photo and you're trying to decide on your composition, you don't have to take in the whole church if this church is too much for you to handle. Just do the top of the steeple maybe, just that much. Or there's a fire hydrant here. How about just doing the fire hydrant? Whatever you do, though, you should make a thumbnail sketch of. If you're not familiar with a thumbnail sketch is something that is a quick 1 to 2 minute sketch with a value study involved. So I'm going to go ahead and draw this fire hydrant very quickly and just show you how quickly you can do a thumbnail sketch. So I'm going to bring this over here, and I'm going to start by doing the bottom. And then there's this kind of rectangular space here, and it doesn't have to be exact. Then this spot is about double the length. So then I got another one of these. Then I have another one of that, another little spot here with a giant circle. Another one in between. And then this comes around like that. And then on this side, there's something poking out here on the side. And then I've got another one of these narrow areas. Oops, I'm sorry. Another one of these narrow areas. And then this kind of rounds on the top like this. And then there's a little spot up here with a little doohickey. So that's my sketch. And I did that in under a minute. Then I want to put my values in. So I'm going to take into account this light here on this side of the fire hydrant, as well as this little bit of light that shows on the other side and the little bit of light down here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start doing some hash marks, or you can just color in with pencil. Down at the bottom, it is very dark. It lightens a little bit on this side, but then it gets very dark over here. Don't worry about staying in the lines. This is all about giving your eye an idea of what's going on. Then this part has a white area, and then it's dark. Then up here, we've got a light area on this edge, and then this is a little bit lighter than the bottom area. And then the next portion up has light on the top, right here, and then darkness. And it's a little bit darker back here. And then we go up a little higher. There's a little more light here. And then we've got darkness, light here. We've got light on the top, darkness here, light here, darkness here, a little bit light showing on the top. I kind of covered it a bit. And then we've got darkness over here with light, a lot of light showing on the top of this, and then darkness over here, and the same with up there. So I've done a quick 2-minute sketch showing where the light is, where the darkness is, and where the middle value is and where the darkest values are. The darkest being down here, and I'm just using a 2H pencil, but you can still do that. It's a little bit darker over here, a little bit darker here. This gets dark down here. There, and now you've got a pretty good idea of what your value is for the fire hydrant. Now you're ready to go. So then I went ahead over here and I drew in my fire hydrant. Now I can go ahead and paint it using the values from my thumbnail sketch. Thumbnail sketches are very good to do before you do your final sketch. So that's all I wanted to talk to you about today. Everybody remember, be courageous, paint with wild abandon or sketch with wild abandon, and most of all, be kind to each other. Take care.